Hi, I'm Mary Alice Haney.
And I'm Dr. Aliabadi. And today we're talking to one of the sweetest, kindest, most amazing patients of mine, Khloé Kardashian. I'm so excited to welcome Khloé to the podcast today. Thanks for listening to SHEMD.
This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute for a physician's medical advice. You should regularly consult your medical provider in matters relating to your own health. Even though we share our honest beliefs on SHEMD, some of the products and services we discuss may involve sponsorships or paid advertising. Khloé, we are so happy that you're here. We started this podcast to empower women and educate them and inform them and shed light on important issues for women. And for you to use your platform to be here is amazing. And she talks about you all the time. You're one of her most favorite people in the whole world. Can you tell me how y'all met?
Go ahead.
Well, number one, Dr. A is one of my most favorite people. I've never met a doctor like her. Like I always say, me and my family, because she does everybody under my family umbrella. And we always say, it's so bizarre. Like, does she have other clients? Because you're the most responsive. You treat all of us with such care and empathy and all of that. It's the coolest, craziest, most amazing thing. But I met you through Kylie.
Yes.
Yes. So Kylie founded Dr. A. It's Dr. Aliabadi, but we call her Dr. A in our family.
Your family officially changed my name to Dr. A.
Is that how it started?
Yes.
Dr. A? Oh my God. Okay.
We just always have called her that. And we all see her, and I know she's our OBGYN, but I ask her questions about anything and everything that have nothing to do with anything.
I hear this all the time they're like, well, she's my OBGYN, but if I have a skin thing or a heart thing or my hair's coming out.
I'll ask her anything and everything. I had a tumor removed from my face and she was like, let me take you to this other doctor. And did it it's not all about vaginas. No. It's about everything.
Even though we love vaginas.
We love vaginas.
Did she deliver your baby?
Yes, she actually
80s.
delivered. I have 2 kids. I have a daughter, True, who's 6. She'll be 6 in April. Makes me so
I can't
sad.
believe this.
I cannot believe it.
Time flies.
Dr. A was at my baby shower. And even that, we'll invite her to the premiere of our TV shows, our baby showers, birthday party. She comes and I'm like, and she goes, she was at one of our premieres and had to leave to go deliver a baby. I've never met someone that knows how to balance life, work, personal, travel, the way she does and still look the way she does. She's the most amazing husband and kids. And I don't know how it happens, but she's one of those people that you're like, okay, you can have it all. But, and then I have a son, Tatum, who was brought into this world through surrogacy, and he's 1.5. He will be 2 in July.
And where did you get the names?
So True is actually a family name. True is on my mom's side. Her grandfather's name is True, and then her biological dad, that was his middle name.
True. It's so beautiful.
So I always I'm super OCD. I like everything perfect and in order. And my initials are KK. So her last name is Thompson. So I was like, I really want a T name. And every T name that I thought just nothing connected to it. And my grandma, Mary Jo, she said, well, what about True? Keep it in the family. And I was like, what a great name. So it always was written down in my brain. And when I met her, I was just like, she's a True.
And what about Tatum?
Tatum. So Tatum's a little different of a story. I like unique names, but not off-the-wall names. I think our family has enough off-the-wall names. I didn't want to have just too much craziness.
Knowing your family's history of cancer is a first step to understanding your own cancer risk and may qualify you for the MyRisk Hereditary Cancer Test with RiskScore. It's easy, accurate, and covered by most insurers. Learn more at getmyrisk.com. That's GETMYRISK.com.
I actually didn't legally name Tatum. I think maybe for 8 months.
Few months, I know.
No, it was a long time. And I'm embarrassed to say that, but.
What did you call him at home?
I would try different names at first, but none of them. I liked. And then Tatum was, but we would always call him baby, or like I call him Papa all the time. So like Papa was a lot that I would use. But like that was tough for me naming him, because it's interesting when because I wasn't carrying him, I didn't really feel anything. Like with True, I could feel things about her. Or like when I would pray at night, I would pray and we would have like our conversations. And I don't know, I just felt True's spirit. It's weird
Grow
and
inside
kooky.
of you.
No, I don't think that's weird. As being somebody that's, physically, there's so many ways to have children these days, and we're so lucky as women. But that's an honest thing. Like when you carry that baby's kicking you, and you're getting, like you said, you have these conversations, and it's you met your baby for the first time almost.
Yes,
So.
And that was a big thing for me. I met really, because I wasn't at a ton of the doctor's appointments while my surrogate was pregnant, to protect her privacy. I didn't want paparazzi finding out and all those things. But I would always be on FaceTime. But it's not the same. And it's not being there. And even when it's someone else and like they have the ultrasound device on them, it's still not the same.
Mm-hmm.
And so for Tatum, it like when Dr. A put him on my chest to do skin to skin, I was like, my face that we filmed for Kardashians, and my face looking back now, it was like, it's like I was a deer in headlights. I was like so scared. Like,
Did you feel that? I mean, is that how you felt in that moment?
I felt like, I can't believe this is real. Like not in a bad, not in a good, just it was so
surreal,
sensory overload. And I just couldn't believe, because I had challenges during my surrogacy, not so it was a long, do you want me to tell the story?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I want to see
story.
This is your story, and it's going to help so many women.
So it was a couple days before Thanksgiving, and I ended up doing the transfer. And then the first week of December, I found out that my ex was actually having a baby with somebody else. And I never told my family. I did the transfer. I wasn't going to tell anyone until it took.
Right.
Because I wanted to surprise everyone. So no one knew.
Except for you.
Except for me.
And you.
Mm-hmm. That was really hard on you, though.
Oh my God.
I mean, it would have been hard on anyone in your shoes.
And then the entire pregnancy of my surrogate, I admittedly buried my head in the sand. And I said to Dr. A, like, I can't do this. Mm-hmm. And the whole surrogacy pregnancy, I was really detached. I couldn't really face it. I very much think I was in denial that this is happening. So I didn't get to really attach during the pregnancy part. I had one of the world's best surrogates. Dr. A found her for me.
Amazing.
She is, it has nothing to do with her. She was sensational. She was discreet, private. No one found out about my pregnancy with Tatum until a couple weeks before. And it devastated me, because that's when all the judgment and the knives were thrown at me. And it was terrible.
How did they find out?
No one ever knows, and they won't say anything. But somehow it got on TMZ just weeks before. And I'm grateful it was that I had that long without people finding out. But that was my biggest fear, was people finding out, because I couldn't face it, let alone hear the noise. Yeah. And so I became very much a recluse, and I was like, I didn't even decorate the baby's room because I didn't want my people in my home knowing. I also film a TV show. Like nobody knew.
That's incredible that nobody knew.
No, and I couldn't admit this to anybody, like, because I was so ashamed, just thinking like I knew better. You were all taught better. But I remember, so Dr. A called and said she just had a checkup with my surrogate. And she said, Khloé, we have to deliver within 24 hours.
Was the surrogate local?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Semi.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So it was something that you could easily go.
The most incredible, I had delivered her before.
Okay.
So
she's amazing. And it was my last week, because the baby wasn't due for like another week or two. And this was my last weekend with my daughter, True, like in my head that I'm going to.
You were going somewhere. Disneyland?
I just needed the weekend. We were going to have a hotel weekend because she loves hotels. So I was like, this was us. And so I go, no, we can't do this. And she's like, no, there's no fluid in the sac. We need to do this. And I go, I am having a weekend. Like, I'm having a weekend with True. And she goes, this is the Mother Teresa. She goes, okay. Cause I started hysterically crying because it wasn't even about the weekend. It was about now this is real.
Yes.
And she goes, you know what? I'll deliver the baby. I'll take the baby and you let me know when you're ready to pick him up. And I'm
I've
like,
done that before.
She's done that before and then adopted that baby. So,
and I was like, what? I'm like, who does this? Who even offers that? And she did. And I remember I was like to myself, Khloé, fucking snap out of it. This is life. We got to do this. And my sister Kim was my prince on a white horse. She comes, she takes me. Like, Kimberly all my family members are sensational. But the way Kim pulled up, because she knew that
you were hanging on by a thread.
If that.
I
I don't even know if a thread counts.
Yeah.
But I was, and if you ever watch that episode, and when you place the baby on my chest, and I'm wearing a COVID mask, but you could see my eyes, they're blank. I'm just like, what? How is this happening?
Yeah.
And I also want, in some part of this podcast, because my ex Tristan is an incredible father. And I don't want this to be like a bashing thing. Like, he did make mistakes, but Dr. A knows he's the nicest guy and we get along so well now. We're not meant to be together, but he was meant to be the father of these kids. And we do get along so well. And I'm really grateful for that because my parents got along so well.
That's how I am with my ex-husband.
Yes.
I set him up with his fiance. Like, we're great friends.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
But we were not meant to be married.
Right.
I mean, and he, for many reasons, but so I totally understand that.
I've seen some other fathers that are not great fathers. And I'm very grateful that I have one that wants to be in their lives, that's active every single day, even though he doesn't live here full-time because he works out of state. So I'm very lucky for that. And I just want to like move forward with our relationship as co-parents and how great of a dad he is. And I do think that I obviously needed to learn a lesson somewhere. And that's why that happened for me for some reason. And I was meant to have both of these little angels in my life.
They're blessings. And somebody that's gone through divorce, same thing. You come out with these children and you're like, this was the point of it.
Yeah.
This is the whole point of it.
Yes.
And all of the heartache and all of the messiness, this is the point of it. So, I mean, that's amazing. Do you guys ever feel like you just don't get all your veggies in your diet? Since starting this podcast, I feel like I'm moving 100 miles an hour and I find myself grabbing lunch here and there. I know I'm not getting everything I need. I first gave AG1 a try because I kept hearing about it from Dr. A. It's part of her morning ritual. She is so busy with her patients that she doesn't always have the time to exercise the way she should. So when she drinks AG1, she feels super healthy and less stressed about not having the time to work out. I'm always trying to eat clean whenever I can, and I love that AG1 is tested for 950 contaminants and NSF certified for sports. AG1 has prebiotics, probiotics, and digestive enzymes for gut support. It's also backed by a team of doctors and scientists. Since drinking AG1 daily, I could feel a real difference in my daily health. I also had energy and noticed that I felt relaxed and could focus. That's because AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that supports your body's universal needs like gut optimization, stress management, and immune support. Since 2010, AG1 has led the future of foundational nutrition, continuously refining their formula to create a smarter, better way to elevate your baseline health. I love to work out and do hot yoga and Pilates weekly. I also try to eat a diet that's yummy, but also good for me. When I was younger, I never could have imagined that I would crave fruits and veggies. But as we age, we understand that what you eat and drink is directly correlated to your health. I feel better when I eat better. With AG1, I feel like I'm getting the nutrients my body craves. If there's one product I had to recommend to elevate your health, it's AG1. And that's why I'm excited to welcome them as new partners. If you want to take ownership in your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/SHEMD. That's drinkag1.com/SHEMD. Check it out. I love every kind of tracking device. I track my periods, I track my workout, and I've been hearing so much about continuous glucose monitors from several of the experts we have on the podcast, and I wanted to try it for myself. I really want to understand what the foods I eat and the exercise I do are doing to my body. With Signos, you can literally see which foods cause your blood sugar to spike above a reasonable level and get real-time alerts to do a bit of exercise to bring them back down. On average, people make about 227 food choices a day. 227 food choices. That's incredible. It took me years to have a great relationship with food and understand the difference between emotional and stress eating and real physical hunger. I am so excited to use Signos and better manage my energy throughout the day and sleep better at night. The CDC estimates there are approximately 96 million American adults. More than 1 in 3 have prediabetes. Of those with prediabetes, more than 80% don't know they have it. Why does this matter? Because foods high in carbohydrates raise blood sugar more than any other food. I learned this from Dr. A. During digestion, the pancreas produces insulin, which then binds the sugar to the blood and takes it into the cells as a source of energy. If you have prediabetes, sugar begins to build up in the bloodstream rather than fuel the cell. This is when insulin resistance occurs, which is believed to be the #1 cause of prediabetes. Signos' Unique to You program for weight loss is backed by a growing field of scientific research and scientists that points to a stable glucose as a key part of your overall health. Signos removes the guesswork out of weight loss and provides you with the tools and knowledge you need to develop healthier habits. It combines your glucose data from the CGM or continuous glucose monitor with an AI-driven app to deliver real-time glucose insights for optimal health and weight management. Right now, Signos has an offer exclusively for our listeners. Go to Signos.com, that's Signos.com, and get up to 20% off select plans by using code SHEMD today. That's Signos.com and use code SHEMD to get up to 20% off select plans for you today. I actually like getting older. I care less about what other people think about me and more about quality time with friends and family. But one thing I don't like are night sweats. With summer coming up and this very real thing called perimenopause, I am so happy that I found Brooklinen sheets. Designed in Brooklyn and made in Portugal, the wash linen is made with 100% European flax. They're washed to perfection, perfectly unfussy, and will make your summer an absolute breeze. Now is the perfect time for a refresh with all new colors for your longtime faves. From luxe sateen all the way to wash linen, pick your favorite fabric and wrap yourself in cool new colors and patterns. It's that easy to make your room look new. Brooklinen makes the internet's favorite sheets, and beyond that, they've earned their claim to fame with awards from Good Housekeeping to Wirecutter. So get the lightweight essentials necessary to upgrade your space for the summer at brooklinen.com and use promo code SHEMD for $20 off your purchase of $100 or more. That's BROOKLINEN.com. Or if you're the type of person that likes to feel your sheets, come on in the store.
For a long time, even when I had Tatum in real life, I genuinely feel like it takes 9-10 months to create a human. Mm-hmm. It really took me about that long to fully connect to him as well.
Like, that makes sense.
The time you missed in pregnancy.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
But my daughter's probably listening. The first time I got pregnant and I gave birth to my first daughter, I brought this beautiful child home. And, I had been with my husband for like 14 years at that point. And I kept looking at her in the crib the first few days and I'm like, I'm supposed to die for you. I'm supposed to give my life for you, but I don't even know who you are. It was my husband and I 2 days ago and now there's this baby. So I think it's, especially with the first child, we all go through that. For me, it took maybe 2 to 3 weeks to make that bond. And I think different people have different experiences.
And then with postpartum, sometimes it's just we're taught, and there's so much pressure on us as women, is that you were supposed to be this way. You're supposed to be this way. This is how it's supposed to happen. It's the fairy tales we all tell each other. And when it doesn't come out that way, you're sort of left feeling, like you said, like you did something wrong and you did nothing wrong, in this moment. So I don't know.
Honestly, people always ask me do you have favorite patients? You are one of them. I can't say it, but I'm just telling you right now, you're one of the kindest, nicest, most loving, most generous humans I've ever met. And I'm
Thank
surrounded with the most beautiful people on the planet. But you are one of them. And I always tell you, your children are so lucky to have you.
Thank you.
I know you know it. I know you know how good you are. You're so good to everyone who comes near you. I mean, love comes out of your pores. And that's why I think I look at your children, it was all worth it. All
Yes.
those tears and heartaches and
my son looks just like to
Rob.
me, just like
Oh
my
my
brother.
God.
And my brother's
He
one of my
does.
favorite people. And I'm telling you, my dad passed away.
Mhm.
And my son is like, my son's a year and a half and he's sarcastic. And my dad had a really dry, silly, just crazy sense of humor. And there's glimmers of my dad in Tatum. And I'm like, this is so freaking weird.
Isn't that
But
crazy?
it's just how God works. And I love it.
But he looks more than Rob than he looks.
Yes, like anyone like me or
anyone
Tristan
else.
or
He could be his son.
and because he was like an IVF baby or surrogate baby, I was like, Rob, have you ever donated sperm somewhere? Because I made Tristan do 3 DNA tests for Tatum. He was so offended. And I'm like, but he doesn't look
could
like
be my brother by accident.
in this family, that would not surprise me, but that would be so disgusting. But I just was like, I remember she was like, you've already done a DNA test. I go, I need to do another one. I need to figure it out.
This is amazing. That's
This
like
child
the funniest
is
thing I've
yours.
ever
Oh,
seen.
yes. No.
Did you deliver
True?
True? Did you deliver True?
Oh my God, I have a story for that. Tell them. You start. I'll tell
Oh,
you
God.
what. I've never embarrassed myself like this in my life. In my life. In my life.
So I was pregnant. I was in my 9th month of being pregnant. I was in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm at the house by myself, and my mom and my sisters are like, I want to come see you. And I'm someone I recharge and I figure out myself better alone. I'm not someone like I need a bunch of people. It actually bothers me more because I feel like I have to entertain you or host you. And so I was like, no, I'm fine. I wasn't due for like 3.5 weeks. So I was like, I'm fine. About 2 days later, or day and a half later, I call my mom. I'm like, hi, Mom. And no cameras are with me. I'm not filming. I'm on maternity leave. I guess my mom was filming on her end, which I found out later. And I'm like, I feel like I'm having like period cramps. Is that what labor feels like? And she's like, fuck you. Because she kept asking before, can I come? And I was like, I don't want anyone to come. She said, fuck you. What the fuck? Fuck you. And I go, fuck you. And I just hang up the phone. I was like, I don't need this shit. She was not saying fuck you. She was so angry that she
wasn't
didn't
there.
listen to herself and just get on a plane. And so they're filming and everyone's like, who's she talking to? So Courtney and Kim are like, what's happening? She's like, fucking Khloé's in fucking labor. Like, not happy, like yelling at me. I didn't see that. I didn't hear that part. I saw it from the show. And then my mom is scrambling. Her doctor, they get a plane to come and see me. And their plane that they're on has no Wi-Fi, has no nothing. So
We can't talk to her.
they can't
No.
talk to me. Like,
Did you go to the hospital?
so
Yes.
I told one of my really good friends, and he's in my life now. He was at the house staying there in case something happened. And I go, Savaz, we have to go I'm calm. I'm like, we have to go to the hospital. He's like, okay, whatever. He has no idea what's happening. And I'm bringing my luggage and he's like, are we doing a tour? I go, I'm in labor, you idiot. He's like, I can't be involved in this. He's like, I can't do this. I'm like, someone's gonna need to be there. Because now Tristan's playing in like a championship game or playoff game, something like that. So I can't even reach him. The whole thing was crazy. And then my sisters, my best friend Malika, they get on a second plane and they come. I'm in labor, can't reach my doctor, can't reach my mom.
You guys were dying on the plane. You must have been dying on the plane.
They were dying. I was dying because the girl is there was something about
And
the
women
heartbeat.
in her family just deliver babies.
Just like
no
bam,
problem.
Like they
Boom.
were meant to do
Oh my
nothing else.
gosh, it's crazy. But there was something with the heartbeat. Remember?
Right. You were having late decels. The baby's heart rate was dropping after every contraction. So when we got there with Miranda, we started flipping you, remember?
Yeah, they
We're
made
like,
me sit up, crisscross applesauce.
Yeah.
And then it helped then helped everything. Baby was fine.
And I want to say the second part of the story. What time did you deliver? Do you remember?
I think 4 a.m.
4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So at like, I don't know, 5, 6 a.m., I had done a post on the plane because when Chris called me, I was at work. I had not, I was already
Normal
tired.
Dr. A, hadn't slept in
always. I'm a
5 weeks.
chronic fatigue syndrome. I have it. So
no, you just deliver babies.
And, it was too exciting to go on the plane and make it to her labor and make sure the baby's okay. It's a different hospital. I didn't know the nurses. So it was just a lot going on. So the baby comes out, and I had drafted this post for my social media about physician burnout, like how doctors work so hard and we get so tired and this and that. So it was all ready to go, but I just needed a picture to go with the post. So I go to the lobby of the hospital, and I find this beautiful picture frame in front of this counter. I'm like, perfect. There's no names of the hospital. There's no location tag, nothing. It's just a frame. It's me in my outfit and in my scrubs and this counter. I take a picture. I post. I don't know what happened. I go upstairs. I come back down a couple of hours later. I look outside. At this point, no one knew that she was in labor, that we were in Cleveland. I come out, there's like 500 people outside of this hospital.
Like the Beatles have
arrived. Yes.
True arrived.
True arrived.
And of course, I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? And I look at my phone. One of my friends had texted me. She's like, you're all over TMZ. You gave away the location of Khloé.
But no one thought from this photo. Like there was not anything.
How did they figure it out?
Someone from the hospital recognized the I don't know.
It just makes me so mad.
So someone from the hospital.
I almost cried.
I
was
care.
in tears. I called Chris. I'm like, Chris, I did something. She's like, what'd you do? I'm like, all of this paparazzi here, they're all here because of what I did. She's like, what'd you do? I'm like, go look at my post.
The post was the most innocent post, and all of us were like, we have bigger fish to fry. We're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Can I tell you though, for me, it was so traumatizing. One, it's HIPAA. As a physician, you don't give away the location of your patient. Second of all, I could not believe how evil these people were, who with a photograph behind me, they could find my location, connect me to her. I don't know if you were.
It's crazy.
It was crazy. And I felt so bad. And I don't know how you guys do this every day. I still have PTSD from that moment. And you live with this every day.
That's why we don't live our gated community.
You don't, as you should.
We really don't. It's tough.
Like, do you ever go to, I don't know, to the market, or do you ever do
I love
regular shopping?
Like, I love going to grocery stores and going up and down every aisle because I'm like, I don't know what I want. I want to go up and down. But even just my niece, her name is Dream, and I took Dream and True.
Oh, she's so cute.
She's so cute. I took Dream and True to Rite Aid to get ice cream the other day, and we were fine, like skipping to the car. And the next day, a little bit later, Kim's like, oh my gosh, you guys looked so cute. And I was like, what are you talking about? I never saw a soul. So like they'll sit in their cars and take pictures of you. And that's a new thing. Normally they'll be
in
out,
your face and and you're navigating it, but it's just in these private moments.
The in your face I like more, because the private I'm like, it feels so violating that way.
Totally.
When it's out and even if they're rude or kind, whatever, that I appreciate more because I don't feel so betrayed. Yes. Like it's so invasive both ways, but the other ways.
So you're 39.
39.
I met my husband when I was 39. He's the love of my life. I'm telling you, 39 is a very good year to meet the love of your life. Are you ready for it? Are you open to it? Are you open for business?
So I am not looking, like I haven't been going on dates. I don't do dating apps. No judgment. It's just not my thing. Okay. With my experience with the Tatum part of just how all of that happened, I needed a lot of time to heal and to do my own internal work. And like, I'm not lonely. I'm not any of those things.
Yeah.
I am so happy, but I finally, like just recently, have felt that there's like a turn in my personality.
That you might be open to it.
Yes. So I'm not closed off to it. And if it's the right guy, but I'm not going on like a ton of blind dates I haven't been on one date. I haven't done any of that, but I've needed the time for me.
Yeah.
And I love being a mom so much. Like I have loved having laser focus on my kids. Like I only will have this window of them being this young, this time. And because I'm not like, I don't want to distract myself with a man or going out with my girlfriends, going to clubs, like it's a different time. I love, like, I want to feel my feelings.
Yeah.
I want to figure out why I'm like doing the same things over and over again. How do I fix myself? How do I make myself a better person? So I've been really working on myself and just getting stronger, like stronger about all the noise I have to hear about myself all the time, things that really got me down. Because that was one of the hardest times of my life. And I love that I'm finally feeling like it's turning around for me, like just personally and emotionally. So I will be ready to date. I just don't know if like right now it is. I might wait until I actually am in my 40s.
Okay, well.
But I'm not against it. But I'm not lonely either.
Once you have children, I always say this to my patients. I mean, husbands are great. I love my husband. But once you have children, they fill up your heart in a way that you need nothing else on this planet.
Totally.
I also think it's sometimes, I mean, and I hope my husband's not listening to this as I say this, but sometimes I'm like, oh God, I got to give him some attention and I don't have any more to give. I've given it all. I've given it to the kids. I've given it to this podcast. I've given it to my parents,
No, like, that's such a relatable sentiment because it's true. You're like, what else can I give?
Like,
and
we're
what else?
constantly giving.
Yes.
That's all we do all day long.
I went to my dermatologist a few weeks ago because I've noticed these little red bumps on my face. My skin is really red and irritated. He's making me use more gentle products and said I should be using red light therapy every day. I had found Bon Charge and loved their red light therapy device. One of my best friends, Molly Sims, had told me about Bon Charge, and I always listen to anything Molly recommends in the beauty space. I use it 15 to 20 minutes each day, and I'm really noticing a difference. I can switch between both NIR and red light in one device. It has the lowest EMFs on the market, no flicker, and is super sleek and lightweight in design. I also really love their infrared sauna blankets. It feels like I'm getting a warm hug and it really relaxes me. Bon Charge ships worldwide in rapid time. Easy returns and exchanges. They have a 12-month warranty on all red light therapy devices. Red light therapy devices come in small, portable, and full-body panel options. Bon Charge also has other amazing products such as low blue light bulbs, blue light glasses, EMF protection products, infrared sauna blankets, and 100% blackout sleep masks, all backed by science. Go to boncharge.com and use coupon code SHEMD to save 15%. That's boncharge.com and use coupon code SHEMD to save 15%. Dreamland Baby is a sponsor of today's show. When my babies were little, all I wanted to do was hold them and rock them. The boys love being swaddled, but I was never really that good at it. And I tried and tried with their baby blanket. If I had had the Dreamland weighted sleep sack, it would have been a game changer. You see, it isn't just an ordinary sleep sack. It's designed with Cover Calm technology, which evenly distributes gentle weight from your baby's shoulders to their tiny little toes, mimicking the feeling of a comforting hug. New moms are so tired and they only really sleep when their babies sleep. With the Dream-weighted sleep sack, those restless nights are a thing of the past. It was invented out of desperation from a new mom when her 6-month-old wouldn't sleep. The gentle weight not only relaxes and calms the baby, but it helps them fall asleep faster and keeps them asleep longer, giving moms the rest they need to tackle the day ahead. The Dream-weighted sleep sack is tagless to avoid irritation, has a 2-way zipper for easy diaper changes, and made from 100% soft and natural cotton. And here's the best part. You can experience the difference too. Go to dreamlandbabyco.com and enter my code SHEMD at checkout to receive 20% off site-wide, plus free shipping. This offer is for new and existing customers. Don't wait any longer to give your family the gift of better sleep. All right, for those of you that can't see this gorgeous thing in front of me, I mean, you look incredible. So this time has definitely been, I mean, you couldn't look better. So I know everybody wants to know, what do you do for your workout? Do you do the Mediterranean diet? Do you limit yourself when you eat? Do you eat everything? Like, so how do you get this body and this gorgeous face and all of this?
Thank you.
It's amazing.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, I've worked really hard because I used to be overweight a lot of my life. And then, God, I mean, my weight loss journey. So it took years for me because it's not about, for me at least, I've always been even chubby, like athletic. I've always played sports. I just was never in shape. My thing is more the food because I have the determination. So I had to retrain my mind as to like what I could eat, what I couldn't eat. And I used to be on not necessarily a diet. I would make lifestyle changes. Like I would, let's say, cut out all sodas, like little by little. I would cut things out. Like I would do that for a week and then cut out one other thing because I realized I did every diet under the sun when I was younger. But I work out 5 days a week. I do cardiovascular intervals with weightlifting.
Strength.
And I love it. I do, if I'm like getting ready for a shoot, I'll do Pilates and my workouts. But now that I'm in a good place body-wise that I do sort of eat what I want. But because my brain is so trained, you don't even want half of the crap or junk. Or if you do want something, like I love pizza is my weakness. But now that I'm in this different state of my mind, I'm never going to eat a full pizza. But it's retraining your brain. If your brain isn't trained with your body, then you're not doing anything. Like it doesn't matter.
I think we sometimes lose the ability to even feel full. I mean, I know I did. I went to a nutritionist for years and years. And in my case, it was emotional overeating. So that's how I would deal if I was sad or I was whatever it was. So I went and had to train myself to use food as food and as fuel and to not, have a full bag of potato chips. It is something about that. I think as women suffer, men suffer. Men have, eating issues as well. It's not just women, but I think it is a freeing place to be in your life when food isn't this thing that you think about all the time. Or I don't know. That was my experience with it.
Yeah, I used to be a major emotional eater for sure. But then when I was done, I would always be like, wait, I feel like I would feel so good eating.
And then
as soon as so bad after. And then I would cry and probably do it again because I was sad. So I needed the ice cream again. Yeah. And it was this crazy repeat cycle. Yeah. But then, I gave myself a lot of patience and I just took my time. I wasn't like, tomorrow's day 1, 6 days a week and cutting out all sugar. You can't, it's so extreme.
It's not sustainable.
Yeah, it's not sustainable.
No. And so, but you're very disciplined. Since I've met you, you've always exercised, you watch what you eat. I mean, there's a reason people look like you, and that's the truth.
But it took me a long time to train myself. And when I got pregnant with True, I was 204 pounds when I delivered. And I was like, how am I going to do this again? Because I took so many years to do it the first time. But because I had all the tools in my toolbox, I knew what to do. And I actually lost my pregnancy weight so much faster than I ever did my regular fat weight. I don't know what you call that. But I was so proud of myself. I was like, I did it twice. Yeah. I did it twice. Like I was so proud of myself.
And it's the brain too. Your brain holds on to it. And like you said, it was emotional eating. I mean, again, like I totally had the same thing. You have spent so much time with us today, and we are so grateful. My last question to you would be—
Let her go.
No, one last question.
You keep saying one last question.
What is it about your mother that was such an amazing mother that raised these strong, independent, badass women? Every single one of you are entrepreneurs. Every single one of you are, little girls emulate you. Was there something, did she feed you cornflakes with extra sugar on it?
My mom is she's someone that that's your safe space, regardless what you have to tell her. She never made us feel bad. Like, let's just say, I'm like, oh, Mom, I drink alcohol and I'm 17, let's just say. She would never shame you. She would be like, she would talk you through it or like, let me come and pick you up. And then, of course, we would have consequences, but never, how dare you? You're like, it wasn't ever this, we just always felt safe. We could tell her anything. And even if she was like, okay, I'm going to fucking kill them. Like she might need a minute to get herself together. We always knew we can talk to her and she would help us out of anything. So we always had this trust and respect for her. And no one believes in you like your own mom does. And there are some parents that, doubt their kids or like laugh if they want to do something, whatever we wanted to do. She was like, let's do it. And she would find a way, and that belief gave us even more belief. But I will say my mom and my dad did such an amazing job at cementing family comes before anything and everything. And no one's going to be jealous of each other. No one's ever going to compete with each other. We can be inspired by one another. We could happy and all that. And until this day, that is the core of us. We're always united and never divided. We will always support and root and cheer for one another. And there's enough of life, of things, of money and jobs and people to go around.
Yeah.
And my mom would not ever take any of us fighting or feuding. And I think as long as family, like love and family is your core, anything is achievable and possible.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
That makes me want to cry. Like that is
But
like
that's the truth.
But
That's
you should ask her. I don't know.
Khloé, anything you want women out there listening who are thinking about surrogacy to know?
Because I will tell you that connection thing is real, with or without Israel. People might not talk about it, but every single patient experiences it. So I think to hear it from you, it's...
Yeah, I talked about it. Season 2, episode 1 is all about this, of Kardashians, is all about this, my surrogacy journey.
I have to watch it.
And you do, you're in it.
I should. My children tell me.
Yeah, you should watch it. And I am very honest about my surrogacy journey. And I was so scared to be so honest because you think it's not normal that a mother doesn't feel an instant love for their baby. But then I did a lot of work and I realized and I am obsessed with Tatum now, of course.
Of course you are.
Of course. But it took me months. Like, I'm not going to lie. It was just, he was my baby, but there wasn't especially having True, I had something to compare it to.
Yeah.
But I will say that, and my sister Kimberly has 2 children via surrogacy, and she has a very different experience than I did. Hers was great and everything was fine. So her going through that gave me more comfort to go through mine. But then I even felt more guilty when I still felt so disconnected and she didn't. I think comparison is definitely the thief of joy.
Yeah.
So I think anyone going through surrogacy, don't compare yourself to somebody else's journey. I think it is such an incredible blessing that we have this option. And I'm so grateful for that option. And I'm so grateful for the women out there who are giving up their bodies to carry someone else's baby, to then give it back to their mother. Like, it's such a beautiful thing. But give yourself grace. Give yourself patience. Don't talk to all your friends about it if you don't want to. You don't have to admit those things out loud. If you need a therapist or just someone to talk, whatever your form of therapy is, I think all your feelings, regardless of what they are okay.
Yeah.
And just, you should not, that's the thing. I think I probably compared myself a lot to my sister's experience, and I would feel bad about myself all the time. And I would pretend, I'm like, oh yeah, me too. And then inside I was like, oh my gosh, like, what's wrong with me? And then I knew I couldn't have postpartum because I don't have a baby. You start overthinking, it's crazy. But it is such a blessing and it's such a gift that we have all of these resources. And it's such a privilege that I have, the best doctors in the world, to the best just ways to figure out what I want for my life.
Yeah.
It's such an honor and a privilege. And so many people don't have that.
Yeah.
Or they can't afford it.
Right.
Yeah. But thank you so much for being here. I love you so much.
Thank you.
Just listening to you is heartwarming. You see how honest she is?
No,
it's so
amazing.
hard for women in your position to share so much. It's just, it's hard to see.
It's hard for me to keep my mouth shut.
But I love it. I love it. And so many women will learn from this experience. Your story is a shared story. I hear it all the time. And I want you to know you're not the only one feeling this way.
Oh, and that's what I was going to say about my show. I was so scared to be so honest. And the reaction on social media that I got was the most, I think that's when I finally felt closure over this. And it's so silly to say that about a TV show, but the reaction from viewers were so supportive, so understanding, and so many people said, thank you, because no one admits that. And I was like, oh, that makes me feel so sad. And that's always why I've believed in our show. If it helps, I don't want to share half the shit I share, but if it helps one person feel less alone, then I feel like that's what God gave me this platform for.
That's the story of our podcast.
Yes.
That's right.
Because I see how women get dismissed. They're too embarrassed to share their emotions, what they feel. And I wanted a safe place to say, it's okay. If you have painful periods, we know what it is. If you have acne and you're 28, we can help you.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate that. I was honestly surprised when you said, I'm going to come on your show. I'm like, really? That's so
she's
sweet.
always surprised, and she's just an angel on earth. And I'm like, your why is pure. You want to help the world. That's why we're doing this. So this is the other thing I'll say. I always think about this with y'all's show. That's going to be amazing. You're going to be 80 years old, and you're going to have the best home movies anybody has ever had. Your great grandchildren are going to be able to watch you guys live your life. It's incredible.
Yeah, no, we say that. It's really special, and it's going to be we just get to have this forever. So it is great.
Thanks so much for joining us today on SHEMD. If you want to stay strong, healthy, and empowered, follow us on social media at SHEMD Podcast and subscribe to our show on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. For SHEMD's takeaways from this episode, visit shemdpodcast.com.